So you're thinking about moving out here to the beautiful beaches of Orange County, California, but you don't know where, you don't know the difference between the beaches, you don't know the different vibes, you don't know the different prices. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to get out the map and we're going to talk about all of Orange County's beach cities so you can know exactly where you want to live if you want to live in the beach in Orange County. And we're going to talk about things that you're really going to like, and we're going to talk about, more important, things that you're going to hate. That is more important because the worst thing that could happen is you could come out here and you could move to the wrong spot. That would cost you a lot of time, money, and anguish. So let's get started.
Okay, so here we are in Southern California, and here, this is Orange County. As you'll notice, it's really narrow and small. I think people kind of forget that you're not very far away from anything here. So to kind of go from one place to the other, really, really easy. But that's not what the story is about.
Yes. The story is about the beaches. Just a side note to that, though, because a lot of times Sean does get calls and people ask, well, I want to live near the beach. And then he's like, well, then you want to live in Orange County, because pretty much everywhere in Orange County is near the beach. So even though we're going to be talking about the beach cities, the actual cities that are along the beach today, you can honestly live pretty much anywhere in Orange County, and you'll be about 30 minutes away from the beach or shorter.
Yes, exactly. So so it's super convenient to get to. So that's why people love them some Orange County. So we'll kind of start with, I guess we'll go from south to north.
Should we go from south to north, or should we go from Crown Jewels to?
Let's go south to north. Let's just kind of do some geographic stuff going on here.
Okay.
So basically, the southernmost city in Orange County, unless you count Rancho Mission Viejo, which is kind of blowing my mind.
But that's not a city. It's a...
Oh, it's a census district. That's
census
true.
district.
But that is an area, right?
It's an area,
and I guess it does kind of protrude out this way. I guess I never really looked at it that way before. But that's not what this is about again.
It's not developed yet, at least at the time of this recording.
Yeah, so San Clemente is the farthest south city, and it is a coastal city. And what's interesting about it is that, okay, let's just kind of tell you about where you are. So you're the southernmost portion, and honestly, when you look at it, you'll see that just kind of like a lot of nothingness between San Clemente and Oceanside. So that's the next city down if you're going southbound, right? And that's a good 25 minutes or so.
If there's no traffic.
If there's no traffic, of kind of like nothing, right? I mean, and when I mean nothing, obviously there's stuff. Like, obviously there's Camp Pendleton, which is a huge marine base, a massive base. Yeah. Again, not something you know, unless you're in the Marines and stationed there. You're not really going to go there. So like Oceanside's the nearest city to the south.
So before we continue, I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad, and we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this video, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the glitz. I love the glamour. I love the incredible weather. I can't wait to move out there now. But the problem is that I maybe not be local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country. So I don't know what the first thing to do. And I totally get that. That's why you want to reach out to us so we can have that conversation, really get specific about what you're looking for and be your boots on the ground. And remember, I actually work with a team. So if I'm not available, someone is, to make sure that where someone's always available at your disposal whenever you need it. So what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.
And then another area just south of San Clemente is San Onofre, where it's actually where there's a decommissioned nuclear power plant. So people kind of ask sometimes, they're like, well, what's going on with that? All I can tell you is decommissioned. So basically it's not active anymore. Mm-hmm. And so I don't imagine there's much, if anything, to worry about. Actually, you used to work in San Clemente. Because actually there is some office, buildings in San Clemente itself. Yeah. And you would actually hear, the war games going off.
Yeah. You could hear the bombs in Camp Pendleton. You could feel them too. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is all Camp Pendleton stuff going on here, right? So kind of up until the Orange County border. Yeah. And San Onofre is this little plot right here, but yeah, you would actually hear and feel the
building would kind of vibrate.
Yeah. So it's kind of amazing, the artillery going off and everything. Mm-hmm. So so that's kind of a little side note. Now, as far as San Clemente itself, it's really interesting. So it's kind of a tale of two cities, not in the Dickens sort of way. Yeah. But basically, so west of the 5 freeway, you actually have it's more beachy. You have your beach shacks.
You want to show we're doing a map.
So basically, if you're here, if you're west of the 5 freeway, which is one of the major freeways in all of Southern California, you kind of it's very, very beachy. You have the pier, you have beach shacks, you have really nice houses that are developed on top of demoed beach shack. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, so not like a ton of, I would say there's not a ton of
Master plan.
associations and stuff like that. So if you're not looking for an association, this is actually a nice little pocket to kind of like really zero in on. And also you obviously have the beaches too, of course. And then to the north or east of the 5 freeway, you kind of have like a lot more newer stuff. So you have like Talega, you have Rancho San Clemente, you have all this stuff that actually feels very much like South Orange County like vibes of what people kind of talk about.
Yeah, so when Sean talks about South Orange County, he's talking about the famous part of Orange County that is really known for all of its master plan communities, its homeowners associations, it has a park on every corner. The homes do look very similar in a lot of areas. Yeah, so that's what South County is kind of known for. And that part of San Clemente is definitely very much fitting into that.
Yeah, let's like drop the guy in there, right? So
Yeah.
kind of give you a feel of, again, just an idea, right, of what you might be looking at. So it's just your typical South Orange County type of development, massive development.
Yeah.
Again, houses that are new-ish kind of thing. Because the stuff on the coastal side is definitely on the older side.
Unless it's been demoed and totally redone.
Exactly, unless that has happened. Very true.
Yeah, but the side that's west of the 5 freeway, it's definitely much more cute and charming, in my opinion. Yeah, so...
Yeah, and also as far as like big surf spots, if like you're interested in surfing, you basically have like trestles, right? So this is actually technically in
San Diego
County.
San
Onofre, but it's right. Obviously, as you can tell, it's right on the border. But this is a big surf spot. So if you're into surfing, this is kind of like a really cool spot to go to.
Well, if you're into surfing, you probably already know about it because the World Surf League had definitely contests there. So
very true. And then you have like San Clemente Pier, so it's got all your typical touristy type stuff. It's pretty cool from that perspective. So it's just again, it's just like and also you do have the train track. So here's kind of little like images of the pier. You have beaches, just really cute, right? So that's kind of
the village out there is super cute. What do they call it? Like the Spanish village by the sea. It's super cute. I actually really like San Clemente.
Yeah, and I would say the only real drawback is that again it's so far south. So again,
and that there's nothing in between it and San Diego County. At least like the first real city in San Diego County.
Exactly.
So you are kind of a little bit isolated, and I would say that's why the prices in San Clemente are definitely lower than maybe some of the other cities like Newport Beach or Laguna Beach.
Yeah, definitely the proximity has something to do with it for sure. Because again, if you're commuting to and from work, it's
far.
It's far. Like, because your nearest major like retail center or like job center is like Irvine, and so that's kind of again that's far. Like actually, that's way out here. So like this is actually a bit like what your commute would kind of look like if you're down here. You're kind of,
and that's to the closest one. That's if you're in the Spectrum area.
Yeah, so that's again, that's the thing. If you're commuting, it's something to definitely keep in mind. If you're, and I get people that are going, okay, I want to be in San Clemente, but I work in LA. I'm like, I would really, unless you really like driving, I would highly recommend getting something a bit further north because there's tons of other options that would make sense for that commute. Again, unless you love driving, then of course, more power to you.
Yeah.
And then I would say that San Clemente is part of the Capistrano Unified School District, which is the largest school district in all of Orange County. Actually pretty highly rated according to niche.com. So people really like Capistrano Unified School District because it has a lot of options there. So you can have, obviously your normal type of education, more standard stuff, but then you can have dual language immersion. You can have Waldorf. You can have, which has, and also the Reggio program. So
they have charter schools. They have like gate schools.
STEM stuff.
Yeah, they have a lot of different options. That's one of the reasons people like Capo.
Yes. So then that's San Clemente for you, right? And then so the next city north is Dana Point. Now this is where again it's still far south. Yeah. So it's not super close, but it is more convenient than San Clemente. And so again, Dana Point, super nice area. San Clemente and Dana Point both are similar price points, definitely well above the median price point of Orange County, which you would expect from any coastal city because again, we harp on this channel all the time about the weather being so fantastically good on the coastline, anywhere in Southern California to be honest, but Orange County, we'll put that up against, you can give me your Nice, you can give me your Cannes, you can give me anywhere in the world, and I'll say, you know what, my trump card here is the coastline of Orange County as far as weather.
That's true. And what's interesting about Dana Point is that even though it is obviously farther south, What's interesting about it is that it's definitely farther south, as you can see here, but it's actually fairly easy to get in and out of. I would argue way easier to get in and out of Laguna Beach, which is much more expensive. I know we're not talking about Laguna yet. And Laguna is awesome. Like, I'm not going to knock Laguna because it is seriously gorgeous. But if you're talking about ease of getting in and out of, even though Dana Point is farther south, I would actually argue that it's way easier to get in and out of than Laguna Beach.
For sure. I mean, because you have, you're close to the 73 freeway at this point. You're also, you have Pacific Coast Highway, which is Highway 1 depicted here, as well as the 5 freeway actually runs really close to it. So it's super easy to get to. Actually, and having said that, San Clemente also is right off the 5 freeway as
That's
well.
true.
So
Yeah.
you're not having to go too far, because some of these other cities in South Orange County or even coastal Orange County, they're a bit a ways away from the freeway.
Yeah.
So both of these South County cities are actually rather convenient from that perspective. And kind of like San Clemente, Dana Point does have a little Tale of Two Cities vibes to it, because you have kind of what you think of Dana Point and like Capistrano Beach and stuff like that, where it's, again, you're not as much associations and that kind of thing. So Capistrano Beach is right here. So you have, again, just homes like you think your typical beach shack kind of home kind of things. And it's just, let's see if I can just, obviously just plopping down randomly. So it's just like a variation, right? Like, I guess this is kind of like a good way to depict, so these homes have like ocean views, and again, not really big on associations. Again, in general, well kept, of course, because this place is not cheap. Yeah. But as far as just, you're not getting this variation. I mean, you're getting variation here. Like, again, this house for sure, just randomly putting it. That was something that wasn't designed, from the get go. So you kind of have stuff where you have homes that have been built up over the years or not. So just kind of one of those things to kind of consider as far as like Dana Point itself, and also this part of Dana Point. Also, you have a marina, so you have a harbor here. Oh, yeah. Really beautiful. One of the few harbors in all of Orange County. There's about 3 of them. And this marina here is really cute. It's just a very nice place they're going through a renovation right now. And so it's still being worked on. But again, it's not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but it is there.
It's really nice. It's so beautiful.
It is very beautiful.
I actually think that it's underrated, in my opinion.
I'll say so.
Yeah.
A lot of people are paying these high prices. I don't feel like it's super underrated.
Well, that's true, but I just think it doesn't have like the fame that like Newport Harbor has. Dana Point itself doesn't have the fame of Newport Beach or Laguna Beach, which are both stunningly beautiful cities. But I would argue it's just as beautiful as those cities, in my opinion. I feel like it's kind of like the little city that could.
Yeah, and also, I mean, and if you have little kiddos and that kind of thing, so Baby Beach is kind of a place that we've definitely taken the kids to, where it's just nice because it's in this like safe place, right? You're not worried about big waves coming in and all that stuff. And I think it even has some netting too, just to kind of keep, keep the little critters out, basically. So you can feel relatively safe with your kid being there, as far as not getting swept away or that kind of thing. By the current.
Yeah, because the current, it can get...
the Pacific Ocean, it's an ocean. So
it's no joke.
No. For sure. So it's so that's a really nice feature of it. And then as we get, so the second part of this is interesting, because as you get to a little bit further north, now you're talking about Monarch Beach. So this is actually still within Dana Point itself, and it's very different. It's much more master planned. It's kind of very resort oriented, where you kind of have, it's just really cool. So you have some newer homes, really nice little areas, associations definitely, and some of them can be rather expensive because you're actually developed within some of these resorts. So you have 2 major resorts here. So you have the Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel, beautiful place. I don't know why it's called Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel, because
it's in Dana Point.
It's in Dana Point. I don't know why you would do that, but in fact, actually, my first wedding that I attended was this one, and it really just demolished all of the weddings for me.
Including our own.
No, but it actually was very impressive, though. Like, I must say, absolutely beautiful, like right on the crashing, on the cliffs overlooking the Pacific Ocean. It was kind of amazing. And then also the Waldorf Astoria is another one where you have a golf course. You have just, obviously, as you can see here, it's not exactly inexpensive in the area here. No, so
it ain't cheap.
Yeah, so you have like gated communities, that kind of thing. So it's just, I love what Dana Point has to offer, because depending on what you're looking for, it kind of has you covered.
I agree. I love Dana Point.
Yes.
I feel that, like
It's
I was
underrated?
saying, it's underrated. In my opinion, it's underrated.
Yeah, and then as we go a little bit further north, so now we're talking about Laguna Beach, right? So Laguna Beach, absolutely stunning city, and the price reflects it.
Yes, man, it is so nice. I mean, Laguna Beach, let's just look at some pictures. I mean, look at that. It is a crown jewel. It is so beautiful. It's where the mountains meet the sea. It used to be a little artist colony, and then it was, kind of like the vacation area of big Hollywood execs. And then people started discovering it, and they were like, why would we just come here on vacation? Let's just live here. It is so beautiful. It still has a very large art community. There's a ton of artists that have big galleries down there. It is so nice. I mean, I can't express enough how beautiful Laguna Beach is.
Yeah, and also it's an interesting city because you obviously have, obviously the homes here, again, you're talking about triple, give or take, the median home price of Orange County.
Yeah.
I think, Laguna Beach and Newport Beach, just north of it, are the two most expensive cities in all of Orange County.
Yeah, by a lot.
By a decent margin,
Yeah.
Yes. Understandably. So it's just,
Yeah.
it's just like, obviously, it's very limited, very highly desirable. And,
Yeah.
So I would say that, obviously, the cons of Laguna Beach is that it's just tough to get to, like you said.
Yeah.
So, you actually, a good friend of yours lived in Laguna Beach, and when she got there, again, depending on what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
So some of these are like true, these are shacks, right? Some of these aren't super, with
and
even
they're still very expensive.
Yeah, and minimal parking
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So she actually would park on the street.
Yeah.
And she couldn't leave over the weekend.
Yeah.
It was just one of those things, right? Again, just understand that this 133 freeway, especially in the summertime, backs up like crazy. And then obviously if you're taking PCH either way,
it's still crowded.
Yes. And where they meet is kind of like this, it becomes like Main Street.
Beach, yeah.
And so basically what you have here is tons of artist galleries, Weiland, a famous artist,
Vladimir Kush.
Yeah, so you have all these art galleries. It's a really awesome, all these shops, dining options, bars, tons of entertainment here. Mm-hmm. I know that Orange County has this reputation of being sleepy and all that stuff, but I would say that once you're getting into Dana Point, Newport Beach, and Huntington Beach for that matter.
Laguna Beach.
Yeah. I would say, actually less so Dana Point, but Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, and even Huntington Beach, you get a lot more nightlife and that kind of stuff.
And one thing that I will say is that, yes, we're stressing just how stunningly beautiful Laguna Beach is and how expensive it is, but I do want to stress that Laguna Beach and the entire coast of Orange County, it is paradise. You are paying for paradise. And we've had other videos on this channel where we argue that actually, if you look at other areas of the world that also are paradise, where you're also paying for paradise, you're paying more, significantly more in these other areas. So, if you're just talking purely on what is paradise and are you
value,
where you're paying for paradise, I would even argue that Laguna Beach is a deal because there's few places in the world that are as nice as it. It is attracting people from all over the world. And so, in my opinion, it's still a good value because just when you're thinking about the competition and then just what you're actually getting there because it is so beautiful.
Yeah, you're literally talking about the French, Spanish, and Italian Rivieras type stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't come cheap. And this literally compares to that. This is not hyperbole by any stretch of the imagination.
It's just so nice. And just the weather, it's an idyllic way to live. And so that's just our little, you got to just think that when you're purchasing that lifestyle in other parts of the world, that lifestyle is actually much more expensive.
For sure. And then actually right here, this little thing right here, so this is Las Brisas. I wouldn't say it's the best restaurant in the world. It's fine. It's good. It's actually, it's actually pretty good. But what it is that it just has spectacular views and it's not ridiculously expensive. Obviously, as you can imagine, some restaurants here can get insanely expensive. So I think Las Brisas is a really fun place to go. Yeah. Just to kind of, again, take in the amazing views. You're right next to the main beach, and it's just fantastic. I can't say enough good things about it, about Laguna Beach. And again, you have this, you have some gated communities, non-gated communities, like Emerald Bay famously is a gated community. And as you get a little bit further north, it does get even more pricey, I would say, because it is getting a little bit more convenient, right? Yeah. So you're kind of paying for that convenience.
You're getting more towards Newport Coast.
Yeah, exactly. And then actually what's funny is that when you're going in top of the world, so when you're in Laguna Beach, as you go again inland of Pacific Coast Highway, it's super hilly. You go up pretty fast.
Yeah, so this is still technically Laguna Beach.
Yes.
And it's very hilly. And you can see...
And incredible views.
Yeah, you can see the ocean. Let's see where except nobody decided to put a picture of the ocean.
Why would you?
I know.
You're only in Laguna Beach.
I guess
there
that's
you go.
the
That's
ocean.
the ocean right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of... Oh, there's the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're up there pretty fast. And actually, it's not terribly expensive up there. Of course,
that's true.
Some homes are going to be, super big, super nice. They're going to be more expensive, but you actually have a little bit more value on the inland side of Pacific Coast Highway as opposed to obviously the coastal side of Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah, and Crystal Cove State Park is super nice too if you like hiking and just being outdoors and stuff.
Yeah, and Laguna Beach is part of the Laguna Beach Unified School District. Actually, technically ranked, according to Niche.com, first in Orange County, so it beats out Irvine and all that stuff. I know everyone talks about Irvine, but Laguna Beach, again, according to Niche.com, actually ranks incredibly high as far as the school system.
Mm-hmm. So now let's go to Newport Beach, and I was just off the camera telling Sean not to belabor Newport Beach because he loves Newport. He grew up in Newport. He knows so much about Newport. And we have videos specifically dedicated to Newport map videos, so we're not going to go super, super in-depth to Newport. If you want to do that, subscribe to our channel. We have many, many videos about that. But let's just talk about, so Newport is similar in median home price to Laguna Beach. Like Newport and Laguna Beach are definitely two cities that are so much more expensive than the rest of Orange County and the other coastal cities. Like it's not even close.
Yeah, and Newport Beach, what's interesting about it is that it has a few different components, right? So you have because people actually think of some of these subsets as different cities in themselves. So you have Newport Beach, which people think about this area, so they think of Newport Beach as kind of this area, Corona Mar as this area, and Newport Coast. These are all part of Newport Beach technically, right? So and they all offer definitely different vibes and flavors. Yeah. So if you're looking for, if we're going from the same theme of south to north, let's start in Newport Coast. Newport Coast is kind of amazing because for a beach city, it's newer. Its stuff was built, from the 1990s plus. So for Orange County standards, that's very, very new. So from 1990s plus is when Newport Coast was built. And what you have here is that you have homes of all different, well, actually, I wouldn't say all different types, because you do have townhomes and condos, of course, but then you have houses, and then you have mansions. So, but Newport Coast, again, it's if you're looking for gated and newer in Orange County and along the coast, Newport Coast it's kind of hard to argue with anything but Newport Coast, provided that your budget affords it. Because it's a very high medium price point. Yeah. As high medium price point as Newport Beach is, Newport Coast is that's cute.
Blows it out of the water.
Cute. Yeah. It's just, I think it's double Newport Beach's medium price. Which is, again, so we're talking about, hey,
honestly, if your budget is 10 mil or above, I argue there's few places better than Newport Coast.
I highly recommend it.
I highly recommend it.
In the words of Ferris Bueller.
Yes, it's so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend.
And these are some means.
Yes.
But Newport Coast, beautiful, again, newer, gated. You do have associations, of course, here. Again, it's fantastic. And a lot of these homes have views because it is pretty hilly here. It's hard to tell, but it is pretty hilly. And you don't actually have too many homes on the coastal side of Pacific Coast Highway. You have a little bit. You have a sliver of Newport Coast that's here, like this part right here. But otherwise, pretty much all of it is, again, sandwiched between Pacific Coast Highway and the 73 freeway. Yeah. And actually, famously in Newport Coast, you do have Sage High School.
Sage Hill High School.
Yeah, Sage Hill High School.
Where is it? Yeah, so here's Sage Hill High School. Niche.com ranks it #1 private school in Orange County. It's in Newport Coast, and so you can imagine the price.
And if you want to rub elbows with billionaires' kids, there you go.
You want to go to Corona Del Mar next?
Yeah, so Corona Del Mar. People really like Corona Del Mar.
Oh, I love Corona Del Mar.
So Corona Del Mar is really cute. You have it's mostly older homes. I mean, you do have certainly new homes that were built in Corona Del Mar, on top of older developments. But again, you have beachfront, harborfront views. Corona Del Mar is beautiful. I will say though, if you're looking for big lots, steer clear of Newport Beach in general, right? Any of these coastal cities, but Corona Del Mar, it's on much smaller lots. You just look at these little streets. I mean, these homes are, again, they're packed in there, and it's just again, absolutely beautiful. People really love it. And so again, I can't say enough about it.
Yeah, and how Newport Coast is definitely, like, you can tell you're in an association, right? Not to say there aren't custom homes, but a lot of the homes have a very similar feel, whereas Corona del Mar, definitely more of what you'd think of as just like a classic beach city, where each home is its own unique charm.
Yes, exactly. So this is an amazing, again, I kind of always stress this, like this part and then this part are two different little things. So Newport, so the back bay is where, it was supposed to be developed into like a harbor, like a normal commercial harbor. And I'm not sure a commercial harbor, but a harbor, right? Like they were supposed to develop it, like dredge it and all that other stuff. And then the environmentalists stepped into saying, hey, this is a huge, spot for birds that are actually migrating. So they put an end to it. So what you do have is this
also,
natural.
Thankfully, they did that because also it cleans the water. I mean, it's a natural thing. That's what it's doing as nature intended. So
that's true. So what you have here is it's just really it's very interesting. So again, it's like untouched, right? Like kind of from a certain perspective. But then Newport Harbor itself is kind of unbelievable to me, because what you have here is pretty much one of the largest non-commercial harbors in the country. Mm-hmm. I can't stress enough, like this is a huge harbor. Like this is big for the fact there's no container ships or anything like that. It is very impressive. Like what you saw for like Dana Point's marina, like you have so many options for this is it's huge. And then you have these islands that are here, like Soblito Island, Balboa Island are the two most notable ones
that you can live. They're residential islands.
Yeah, and then here is like Harbor Island, which is where the billionaires live, basically. But you have these homes with, if you want a home with a dock and that kind of thing. All along here, you have these homes with docks. Like it's kind of the scale of it's incredible. Like you do, like we did a harbor cruise. It was really fun, but you kind of really appreciate just how big and how beautiful it is.
It is. It's so beautiful. Every time we're down in Newport, I'm just like, Newport is so beautiful. Honestly, every time I'm in any beach city, I'm like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and then just like 200 yards away, so you'll have a house right here, and then right on like here is that you have fantastic beaches as well. So Newport Beach has amazing beaches, and so you have this opportunity where you can like partake in beach type activities and then do your boating stuff right across 200 yards away. So again, Newport Beach, incredible. Yeah. And then just north of Newport Beach, again, I could go on and on, but again,
honestly, this video is getting a little long anyways, so
but these are amazing cities. Like that's the thing.
But what each of these cities, we have videos specifically for each of these cities. So if you are interested, check out our channel. We have so many map videos, so many tours of literally every one of these cities. So
true. Yeah. And so basically, and then Huntington Beach, again, much more affordable than Newport Beach or Laguna Beach. So it's definitely like, I'd say Huntington, as Seal Beach, and then Dana Point and San Clemente are like kind of similar.
Yeah, again, they are for sure.
Again, certainly not cheap. We're not gonna like say that, but your dollar goes a lot further in these cities than they do in Newport Beach or Laguna Beach.
For sure.
And then so what you have in Huntington Beach, it's actually a good-sized city. It's about 200,000 people. It's pretty large. You have, again, huge beaches here. Again, it's hard to appreciate how wide these sandy beaches are. Mm-hmm. But these are huge beaches, and you have Huntington Pier, and you have Main Street. You have beach boulevards, and a great way to kind of go a kind of straight shot to the freeway. Huntington Beach, what people do like about Huntington Beach a lot too is the fact that if you do have work in LA, Huntington Beach is a great option just because. So it's rather convenient because it's right next to the 405 freeway, of course, right here, right? So you take the 405 freeway and just shoot into LA County, or you can take Pacific Coast Highway and similarly shoot into LA County. So you have options here where you're just not in traffic, or just that commute is just shortened by a decent amount. Yeah,
well, that's the reason. Like Sean's sister lives in Huntington Beach. That's why she lives there, because they have almost all their businesses in LA,
or a decent amount of it, for sure.
Yeah, and they don't want to live in LA.
Yeah,
so they live in Huntington Beach.
Yeah, and again, it's a great city. You actually do have a harbor here too. So it's one, like again, we said there was 3 cities that have like some sort of marina or harbor. Like Huntington Harbor is another one. So Huntington Harbor is a fantastic option. So you do have some lagoons. So these lagoons here, they're like landlocked. You can't really go anywhere with them. But then some of these, like a lot of these other homes, they actually have like docks, and you can actually sail out into the Pacific Ocean, and so you can have a pretty good sized boat.
Yeah, you
or
can
yacht.
actually. And then
Or
they have
yacht.
little beaches too, like that the residents use in the harbor. So yeah, it's super cute. I mean, it's small. It's definitely smaller than even like Dana Point's harbor, but it's super cute. Like I really like it.
And Huntington Beach's schools are actually like surprisingly. I remember when I was showing properties, I was a little bit surprised by how good the schools are because you kind of think of
This
coastal
is according
cities.
to niche.com,
Yeah.
according to the rankings. And you do have to do your research because Huntington Beach there are 3 different school districts in Huntington Beach. So you got to make sure, like, if that's important to you, not every school is like an A+. A lot of them are, but not all of them.
Yes, exactly. Definitely, it's dependent. So, and then when you reach out to us and we kind of zero in specific areas, like we'll also zero in specific properties and see what they're zoned for, and then you decide if that makes sense for you or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, Huntington Beach is fantastic, and again, they actually have a pretty good sized Central Park too.
They do. It's really nice.
It's actually pretty large, and you
They
have
have
a
a
lot
nice
of
library
fields,
there.
libraries,
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Huntington Beach has just a lot to offer. You have
It
golf,
does. Yeah.
huge park, you
Yeah.
have beaches, you have harbor, like you just have so much going on. And Huntington Beach is famously Surf City, USA. Like this
That's
is
true.
This is again at the pier is where you have a lot of action taking place, and it's a fantastic area.
Yeah, when I worked in San Clemente, it was because I was working for the company that owned Surfer magazine. So the surfers would tell me that the reason why Huntington Beach is known as Surf City, USA is because it's got a great break, and that's why they have the U.S. Open of surfing there. So.
And again, you'll find by this, like, there's so much activity going on
Yeah.
here. There's volleyball tournaments. There's so much happening.
Yeah, there's so much
Right,
to do.
yeah.
There's honestly so much to do in Huntington Beach. That is one thing I really like about it.
Yeah, and
So-
Main Street, you do also have like just options there too. Like there's like lots of dining, bar, like shopping type of things as well.
Yeah, Huntington's a nice, like, one of my best friends grew up in Huntington, still lives there, and she says that the thing that she really likes about Huntington, and she feels like it's just a nice little community, that it's more, even though it's a big city, she feels that there is a community there, so.
And then what you will have is that what's most important to me is that there is a Costco Huntington Beach there. So right by at
That's
Bellaterra.
right by Fountain Valley
Yeah,
Costco
this
as
area
well.
also has a Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, close to the Garden Grove Costco. So there's like 3 big Costcos that Sean loves right in this area. So that's awesome.
Yes, it is amazing.
You might find him at any one of those Costcos at any time of the day.
So
I'm like, where are you? I'm at Costco. I had to go get this. I had to return this.
Hey.
I had to go do this.
there are things that you need to get, and that's what we need to get.
Sure.
Our kids need to be fed. and then Seal Beach is finally the farthest north city. It's not very populated. It's definitely about 25,000 people.
Because it's a lot of open space.
A lot of open
space.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
a cute little city, but we don't really focus on it that much just because it is like quite small. And then it also has Leisure World, which is an age-restricted community. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so Leisure World, we do get calls about this because people go, wow, I can buy a place for $300,000 in Seal Beach. And you're going, okay, yeah, you can. However, like, you have to actually, so one, most of Leisure World, if not all of it, is you have to pay cash because it's not a condominium, it's a co-op. And then a second is that it's an age-restricted community, and it's a huge age-restricted community, but it's an age-restricted community nonetheless. And so therefore you have to be 55 and older to reside there. And also, because it's a co-op, there's rules. Even if you can buy the place cash, they still have to approve you. You have to actually make certain minimum thresholds of income, so that way they know that you can afford the HOA dues and the property taxes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, which might go up.
Yeah, you never know. But again, so Leisure World, again, I've had clients that actually have moved there. It's just that, it's just one of those things where it makes sense for some people.
It has to fit. Yeah, it has to fit you exactly.
Yeah, and then as far as other parts of Seal Beach,
and we do have a tour of Seal Beach. So Seal Beach is really nice. It's really cute, but it's just small.
Yeah, and it's very beachy. Again, it's very beachy. That's the other way to put it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna get your small lots and that kind of thing. Now I will say that what Seal Beach does have that you kind of have to be aware of. Again, this mostly affects the front line of homes that are on the beach here, is that it can be susceptible to higher tides and stuff like that. So if big storms come in. They kind of pack they make these berms to kind of keep it, but that just is what it is. I mean, I don't know what to say. But otherwise, again, it doesn't really affect as many of the homes as you go in, just even a few roads in for those particularly bad times. But they do a good job of what they can. But at the same time, just be aware that it is susceptible to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then one other thing about Seal Beach, which is right next to Long Beach, and Long Beach is in LA County. So I've actually had a lot of friends that have lived in the Seal Beach / Long Beach area over the years, and the reason why they really like it is because you are literally smack dab in the middle between Orange County and Los Angeles County, so you are right in the middle of two of the largest job markets in the entire country. So that's just a reason that some people like to settle like kind of around right here. Like they might have a job and they go into Irvine, and then they might have a partner that goes in somewhere into LA. So it's just a nice little area for that from that perspective.
Well, and also if you look at like as we see this map, you're right next to a ton of freeways.
Yes,
like
you
there
are
a lot of freeways right next to, again, parts of Huntington Beach, but particularly in Seal Beach, where you have the 22 freeway, so you have the 22, the 405, the 605. I mean, it's very easy to get to wherever you need to, and obviously Pacific Coast Highway itself. You have so many ways to get to wherever you need to go to in all of Southern California that it's just very, very convenient. And Seal Beach is part of the Los Alamitos Unified School District, according to Check.com, rated actually very highly. So again, it's just one of those things that, again, just to be aware of.
Yeah.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is when you give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.